If you like this video, click like. If you want to continue to follow our adventure, hit subscribe. Your support would be greatly appreciated. Hello, Little House on the Road subscribers and followers. Well, I think I got a good subject matter today, and I'm really hoping that you guys will like this one. I have been asked many times, how are we funding our adventure? And you know, right now we're not bringing in a lot of money to support ourselves. As a matter of fact, we probably only bring in maybe about half of what we need to support ourselves. Now, of course, as time goes on, we think that we're going to make more money and more money. And so we won't be dipping into our savings quite as bad. But the thing is people are asking, well, how do you have the money in the first place to start this adventure? Are you just naturally rich? No. Carolyn and I have been very poor for a very long time. And in the first time in our lives, this is the first time in our lives that we've had enough money to be able to do anything. Now, her and I met, 3 years ago? Probably about 3 years ago. Well, we met at work a long time ago. But, you know, she lived in an old rundown trailer. I lived in an apartment. Before that, I ran my own little company, consulting company. But, you know, there was years I only made $15,000, maybe less than that. So it's not like, you know, we were just a silver spoon. That's not what we are. But I think what ended up happening was Carolyn and I were really good for each other because we were both poor for so long that we decided we didn't want to be poor anymore. We both had jobs. So anyway, the topic of this is you know, how do we quit our jobs and still have enough money to go full-time RVing or pop-up camping, however you want to say it. Well, really, it just kind of started out of necessity. You know, my wife, and I'm going to put a video up here about when I talk about myself. It's hard to hear. I closed captioned it so you can read it, but that's before I got the new equipment. But I talk about myself. My ex-wife left and left me with a considerable amount of debt. Now, I ended up having to buy myself a truck, so we went ahead and bought a Chevy Colorado, 2015 Chevy Colorado. But I also had a car that I had to give my daughter. That's why I had to buy the Chevy truck. So the car was $6,000. Well, probably more like $7,000, I guess. Bought the truck. It was $24,000. So there we got $30,000. Had $10,000, at least $10,000, the best we can figure, in credit card debt. When my wife left, she allowed me to claim my daughter that year, but my daughter didn't have insurance for that year, and that was the first year Obamacare kicked in. So I owed, I think it was $5,000 in taxes, so I had to pay that also. So, you know, we're talking probably up to close to $45,000, $50,000 in debt that I had. So what I ended up doing was I immediately had to pay off the car. I had to pay off the car so I could give it to my daughter as part of her the child support agreement. So I had to get that done right away. So February, the agreement was made, and I had that car paid off in July. And so that's where we're at with how we did it. Now, what did we do? Well, the first thing I did was I started a budget. I knew how much money I had to spend each month. And so, for example, food was $400, the car payment was $325, the truck payment was, you know, whatever it was. And so I itemized everything for every month. The fixed payments, that was the fixed payments, the car payment, the truck payment, whatever other fixed payments you had, credit card payments, They were all fixed. Variable payments, like the electric bill, what I did there was I took the highest electric bill I had for the year and I made that my budget. So it was $150. Well, that was like in December or January, where, you know, I had to spend money on heat. But, you know, in April, when then you're not running air conditioner, you're not running heat, your electric payment is only $50, $60, something like that. So once you have your budget established, you don't violate it, ever. So I think I had $400 on food a month. If you go over on food, it's got to come from somewhere. You got to be able to take it from somewhere. Where are you going to take it? Well, I just gave you the example of electric. If your electric bill is only $60 a month, well, let's make it easy, $50 that month, but you budgeted $150, that gives you an extra $100 that you could, you know, move over to the food. Don't move it all, just whatever you go over, okay? So let's say you only go $10 over. You take $10 from the electric, okay, and you put it over on food. That still leaves you $90. Don't touch it. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. Get rid of it. Take it off your budget each month. Just get rid of it. Once you pay the electric bill, boom, it's gone. So at the end of the month, let's say you budgeted and you knew you were going to have $500 left over at the end of the month. Well, now you got $590, okay? That's very important. If you don't spend all the money on your budget, leave it alone. Next, same thing goes when you budget your paycheck. Now, I was a salaried employee. I worked 60, 70 hours a week, and I didn't get paid any extra money. I was set. In the 4 years I worked there and never got a raise, it was set. I knew exactly how much I was going to make each month. Now, Carolyn, on the other hand, she made, I think, $11 an hour. So in a 40-hour week, she would make, let's say, $700. So I budgeted her, $1,400 a month. So I budgeted her for $1,400. Well, knowing that we wanted to retire or quit our jobs or something within a 4-year period, that's what our goal was, 4 years, she grabbed all the overtime that she could possibly grab. So now she's working 60 or 70 hours a week. But I never budged on what she made. It was always $1,400 a month. So whatever she had extra in overtime went straight to the bottom. So let's say she, made an extra $100 that month, $200. It went straight to the bottom. So earlier I said we had $500 plus $90 on electric. That's $590. So let's say now she's up to $790. We're up to $790 left over at the end of the month. What I did was I started putting that extra money into the bills, the debt I had. So once the car was paid over, what I did was I took the highest credit card interest rate. And it was actually kind of hard to find that information, but I searched and searched until I figured it out, called the banks and all the deal. And I looked at all the credit cards and I said, oh, well, this one's 23%, this one's 16% or 18%, I don't remember what it was. And I went down. So I took the credit card, even though I didn't have, I think it was only $500 on the highest interest rate credit card, it had 23%, let's just say. So I took that credit card and I said, I'm paying it first. Boom. It was gone. So now I had all this money left over from that credit card on my budget. What am I going to do each month with that extra? Let's say the bill was $50. So each month I had an extra $50. Well, I applied it to the next credit card. I took that $50, and instead of saying, well, I'm going to pay $75 on this credit card, I'm going to pay $125 on this credit card. And I did that. But again, it's all that extra money I had left over at the end of the month went to the credit card. So I took the $150 that I had on the credit card that, for my budget, plus the $500 left over at the end of the month. That left me $650 that I could put on that credit card. And as soon as it was paid off, I went to the next credit card and the next one, all the way down until the lowest interest rate credit card was paid off. As soon as I had everything paid off, now remember, we did this in 2 years. As soon as I had everything paid off, all the money that we had left over at the end of the month went straight into savings. Now, interest rates in saving accounts are terrible. I found an interest rate at 1%, Allied Bank. It's an online banking. I like it. It's the highest interest rate that you don't have to lock your money into. You can pull it out right away. So I started putting money into that. And just every time I had a little extra money, it went into savings, went into savings. And before you knew it, we had enough money where we felt like we could do this adventure for 2.5 years without making a dime. Now, of course, we're making some money, and so that slows down how much, you know, the money we're making slows down how much we're spending from savings. And each month we're learning how to make more money and more money. So, you know, we're hoping within a year we'll make more money than we're spending. Now, as you know from my my expense report that I provided last month, and I will start providing every month, you know, we only need $800 a month. So I hope that makes sense. If you have questions, please ask questions. I will tell you everything I know about what we did. So thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Click like if you liked the video. Happy travels.